Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Crafty Quinn. Today I have some after Christmas DIYs slash winter DIYs for you. I am going to be showing you guys how to use Dollar Tree's brand new faux fur for some DIYs, and it's a collab with Crafting in Mimi's World. So today, this is just one example of the piece of new faux fur fabric that I'm going to be using for today's crafts. So I decided to then take this felt tree. So I got this from Dollar Tree's Christmas crafts section, and I figured this is the perfect kind of trace element that I could use to cut out a tree, because I wanted to really make a small faux fur tree with this fabric. So it's not a perfect match, but I just figured, I'll just trace the rest myself at the top. But this is definitely the perfect size for a little tree, a little standing tree. So luckily this fabric piece was enough that I could actually trace out 2 trees. So I will say what took me the longest for all of these crafts was probably cutting this fabric. It is not the easiest to cut because as you're cutting through this faux fur, there's faux fur flying everywhere and it just keeps, clogging up your scissors. Make sure you use some very sharp fabric scissors, of course, and I just use my scissors for just about everything, so they're not exactly ideal, but I will say that's just what took the longest for all of these crafts. This faux fur is, you get what you pay for. It is Dollar Tree faux fur, so, but yeah, if you can get past that, then you have no problem making the rest of these crafts. So I just cut out each little tree here, and then we can just move on to the next part here. And so this I got from Dollar Tree, and this is exactly what I'm going to make, but I don't want this buffalo check plaid to be my tree. But that is exactly what we're going to make. So I got this from Dollar Tree and I'm like, this is kind of perfect because it already has the dowel in it, it already has a base. Might as well just take it apart and use it. So I was just trying to get the pieces to line up perfectly, and I mean, they're not perfect, sometimes I cut it a little bit more on one side than the other, and then I just glue the top part together, and I figured I'm gonna kind of do this slowly and just kind of glue first and then stuff in the stuffing just a little bit at a time. And this is where I realized that it's not really lining up the way I want, but it's fine. I'll just turn it around. So I glued that top part, and then this is, so the stuffing that I got is actually from my puppy's toys that she can't stop chewing, and there's stuffing everywhere around our house right now. So I'm like, well, might as well put it to good use. And, and that just kind of made me realize, if you want stuffing for this project, just grab something from Dollar Tree with stuffing, grab some dog toys or something with stuffing, and you don't need to spend a fortune on, filling for these trees. So I just kind of kept gluing and then putting in a little bit of stuffing at a time. And you definitely have to hold it for a while, and I did have to go back and re-glue some parts as well. So I was just trying to see where I wanted this to line up, and then once I had it where I want it, I just held it in place. So today I am collaborating with Crafting in Mimi's World. She has also created some after Christmas DIYs for you. She has 5, so go check out her channel. I'm gonna link her video down below. She makes some awesome crafts, but she is definitely well known for her gingerbread crafts. They are always a hit every year. So I will say, she's definitely well known for her gingerbread crafts, for her Halloween crafts. So definitely check her out if you haven't heard of this crafter before. I'm gonna link her channel, I'm gonna link her video, but she has some DIYs in the same theme for you to watch today. So moving on to the next craft, I wanted to make so one of the first things I wanted to make with this faux fur from Dollar Tree was a present box, and I thought it'd be cool to make, cover a little present box in this faux fur, and I figured it would be small enough that it would fit. So I started off by cutting out the piece just for the lid. And this is a little Dollar Tree box. I've had this little box for years, but I think they sell this over in their like gift box section, and they have this one and others like it. But you're definitely going to need 2 pieces of the faux fur from Dollar Tree for this craft, because you need one for the lid, and then the rest of the faux fur is not enough for the rest of the box. So you definitely need 2. So I just kind of started gluing, and then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna start gluing, ask questions later, and just see how it turns out. And that, I feel like that's just kind of my philosophy in crafting. I just kind of start gluing and then figure it out as I go. So I just kind of glued 2 sides together, and then it's kind of like a little bit of like excess like triangle on the end, and then I realized I'm gonna cut that in half, and then once you do that, you only need one side to cover up, and then you can just cut off the excess there, and you just cut that in a little shape of a triangle there. But yeah, I realized that it's just too much excess fur on each corner. So when you get to a corner, you're just gonna cut it down the middle there. And then you're able to see which piece is way too long for that side, and then just snip that off. But that's what made this whole process a lot easier. And then that's it. And then you just repeat that for all of the sides. And it's really the same process for the larger box piece of this as well. So I just started gluing the sides, and that way I didn't have to worry about measuring and things like that. I realized that it was going to cover each side enough that, you know what, I'm gonna start by gluing, and then I will cut off the excess as I go. So same thing, just kind of cut diagonally there, and then it kind of gives you 3 pieces. And that makes it a lot easier to get rid of the parts you don't need, because the only part you need to worry about is the middle piece. Sorry for the background noise, my puppy just joined me. So you don't need this flap here. So just doing it this way made it a lot easier, and I didn't have to worry about anything else. So then I just glue it, and then just keep cutting off the excess. But making a present box with the faux fur was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. But just be prepared for this stuff to go everywhere. I mean, it just falls apart as you're working with it. But I mean, for the most part, like, the fur still stays on, but it's just really, really messy by the time you're done. And then I took this green velvet ribbon from Hobby Lobby and used it as a finishing touch for this present box. So this definitely turned out exactly what I had envisioned, so very happy with the end result. So next I took this Target sleigh. I've had this for a while. I've been trying to figure out what to do with it here and there. I've used it for different crafts in the past, but I definitely wanted to do some kind of, I don't know, snow kind of like woodland theme for this. And so this is another of Dollar Tree's faux fur. They have it in like 5 or 6 different colors. They have like gray, white, black, 2 different shades of pink, and a brown. So definitely a lot of colors to work with. And I really like that they were really modern colors and not just, I don't know, random colors that are harder to work with. So I just kind of, this was definitely difficult because it's just such an odd shape. So I just kind of used the bottom as my reference point, and I'm like, okay, is it long enough? Is it gonna fit? You know, and then I'll just cut it down as I go. But yeah, I really wanted the faux fur to be in the bottom of the sleigh and then to kind of fill it with things. And then I took these wintry snowflake stickers that I got from Michael's. These were 50% off. They might still have them now because I just got them like a week or more ago. And then I took some pine cones and I'm like, there you go. I love this cute little fox. I honestly don't remember where I got it. Might have been Joann's Fabrics, which unfortunately they closed. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to take another piece and I'm going to use that as my base. And now that is going to become snow. So that is another way to use this faux fur. And I felt like the tree and the sleigh kind of go together and they look like part of a winter scene together. So I wanted to keep them as a set. So I really, really wanted to make a wreath with this faux fur. I was kind of inspired by something I saw at Home Goods. There was a like large tree made out of, I don't know, it looked almost like these styrofoam things. And it was this huge tree and it just had rings and rings of layers. And it was like $169. And I'm like, absolutely not. And I thought I could recreate it and make it myself, but I would never be able to find all the different size rings that I need to. So I scrapped that idea and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna make a furry wreath instead. So this was definitely difficult. I mean, it doesn't come out absolutely amazing, I will say, but you know, I was just kind of trying to see, okay, how much of this faux fur can I fit around and at a time. So I thought cutting it up in like little sections would help, but some of those were a little bit too short, so I had to scrap some of these pieces, but I just figured let's just glue it on and then just kind of wrap it around. And I did mess up at first because at first I was putting the seam of it in the middle and I realized the seam needs to be in the back of the wreath. So yeah, so make sure when you're wrapping it that the seam shows up at the back and not in the middle. And I kind of like layered it on top as I went, and that's really how it ended up working out better. So I just kept repeating this process for the rest of the wreath. And then I found this this really cute fuzzy yarn at Dollar Tree recently, and I thought since they're so similar in color that maybe I could add this as like a texture to add a design to this furry wreath. So I just took, I had a really awkward spot in the wreath and I figured I'm just gonna wrap it around that and that's gonna be the top of this. And yeah, so that's a good way I could hide the seam because it's definitely gonna come out a little, you know, it's not perfect. So, but yeah, then I just decided to take the yarn and just kind of wrap it around. And I did pull it tight because I don't want it to move. And it'll hopefully stay in this design. But yeah, so you can leave it plain, you can, you know, add some designs to it, but I just really wanted to do something with this yarn because it matched so well with this fabric. So I just kept wrapping it and kept wrapping it till it met back up at the top. And then I am going to use this to make a hanger for this wreath. So I did a little loop there. And then I just hot glued this down. I do want to mention I used Gorilla Glue for all of these crafts. I don't know if it makes much of a difference, but yeah, this is the end result for this wreath. And so I finally made a faux fur wreath. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to check out more videos, watch them here on the left. And let's be sure to keep in touch on Instagram. And next, I will have Valentine's Day DIYs for you.